Hey Leo Augusto, how are you? My name is Arthur Lopes, and the story I'm going to tell happened around the middle of 2015 when I was 11 years old. My family and I had moved to a house that my father built in the neighboring city. I never liked that house because strange things always happened, like objects disappearing for no reason, strange sounds of people moaning, screaming, or walking around the house when no one was there. But what happened to me was something very strange that I still can't explain logically to this day. At that time, there was that Charlie Charlie trend. For those who don't know, it's a game where you place one pencil on top of another on a base written like this, not really intending to contact the spiritual world. If the pencil moves, it's because the spirit gave the answer.
Charlie, Charlie, are you there?
Ah, you have to call properly, you idiot.
Charlie, Charlie, where are you, my son?
My friends played and I just watched until the pencil they used moved. And we all got scared. I couldn't sleep peacefully that night. 2 months after what happened, I had already completely forgotten about that bizarre episode. Until one night I was sleeping when suddenly I woke up in the middle of the night with my leg lifting up. It felt like someone was pulling it, but I was alone in the room. And 2 seconds after I woke up, my leg just dropped. I couldn't understand anything. I tried to forget what happened and went back to sleep. The next morning, I found a kitchen chair inside my room, right in front of my bed. It was impossible for anyone to have come in and put that object there, because whenever I went to sleep, I always locked my room from the inside. There was no way anyone in my family could have done that. So I started to get even more confused, and after a while trying to solve this mystery, I realized it could have been some kind of supernatural manifestation that did this, the same one that moved the pencil during the game with my friends. But why would this thing do that in my room? I didn't even play that day, I just watched. It was supposed to scare the others, not me. Unless they called this Charlie Charlie and it ended up getting stuck in my house. Ugh, what a pain. I asked my parents about the chair and they didn't know anything. In fact, they hadn't even noticed it was missing from the kitchen. As the years went by, objects kept mysteriously appearing in my room. There even came a point when my parents started to think I was sleepwalking and doing it myself. They didn't believe it could be something done by a spirit or whatever. One night, I slept in my parents' room and locked my bedroom door from the outside, like I always do, but this time from the wrong side. The next morning, I visited the place to check it out. And on top of my bed was something I hadn't seen in a long time. A toy that I had lost in my childhood. Who could have put that there? Hello, Leo Augusto. I'm Renan and I'm going to tell a story from when I was 9 years old. I was walking with my parents around our neighborhood until I saw an ice cream shop. I was dying to eat that cold treat. I remember I got 1 scoop of each that day. Making a mountain. I poured syrup on top, granola, everything I could. And I swallowed it in less than a minute. My God, that was delicious. Oh, my stomach is bursting. My parents were shocked by how much I ate. When we were going home, I started to feel sick and fainted. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital, unaware of what had happened to me. At that moment, my parents already knew what happened. The doctor said I had an infection. Due to my meal, I ended up in a hospital known to be haunted, which was my misfortune. It was previously a psychiatric center where someone died. They say people hear strange noises in the hallways and souls wander around there. That day I had to get several injections. I was in so much pain in my stomach that getting those shots was nothing. I remember my vision started to get blurry and I could only see shadows. I thought I was going to die, man, because I went and ate all that ice cream. I remember they put me in bed and I only heard my parents' voices asking the doctor if I was going to be okay. I didn't hear the doctor's answer. Suddenly, I was awake in the living room. I looked to the side and saw other patients. It seemed like I was fine. I didn't feel any pain anymore. I got out of bed and went to talk to the person in the other bed. When I looked, it was a really strange old man. He looked terrible. It seemed like he was already dead. Frightened, I went toward the doctor who was talking to another patient. They also looked terrible. They started coming toward me. I started running, hoping to find my parents, but one of them grabbed me. That's when I woke up in the hospital bed and my parents were looking at me. They said I was having a nightmare because I was shaking a lot. It was all just a dream or a hallucination, I don't know. I had to spend the night there to be monitored. Man, that night was the longest of my life. My dad stayed with me in the room and ended up sleeping in the chair. In the middle of the night, I could only hear weird noises coming from the hallway. I tried to wake my dad up so he could see what was happening, but nothing would wake him up. Man, I even slapped him in the face, but it didn't work. It was like he had taken a sleeping pill or something. Since it was just the two of us in the room, I grabbed another chair and blocked the door so nothing bad could get in, you know?
Right after that, the doorknob started shaking frantically. Someone was trying to get in. I called my dad again, and he still wouldn't wake up. Then, after a while, it stopped. When I looked at the clock, it was already 5 in the morning. I went back to bed and lay there until I fell asleep.
The next day, the doctor discharged me and we went home. On the way, I asked my dad if he heard anything during the night. He said that even though he slept in a hospital chair, he slept really well and didn't hear anything. I told him what happened, but he thinks it was just a hallucination in my head because of the medication. I don't know what happened that day, man, but it was really weird. Hi, I'm Yara. My best friend, who's like a sister to me, was invited to sleep over at my place one day. She slept in my room. I let her sleep on my box bed and I stayed on a little mattress on the floor. Anyway, that day we watched a movie, ate popcorn, drank soda, we had a blast. The next day, it was Sunday. My mom was leaving to go to church, right? And I stayed home alone with my friend. Since she was sleeping, I went to tidy up the living room, which was right in front of my bedroom. I closed the door so I wouldn't wake her up and started sweeping the living room. Everything was messy, popcorn on the floor, a cup on the table, and... Anyway, I kept cleaning there, right? After about 2 minutes, the bedroom door opened. I went there and closed it and went back to sweeping, right? And again, the door opens. So I closed it again, right? The third time the door opened, I went in there, but I really was sleeping. I went up to her and woke up when she hit my leg with a broom. I explained the whole situation to her, then she swore on everything that was sacred that she wasn't the one who did it. I believed what she said. 2 days passed and Esther had already left. It was early morning and I went to the bathroom around 4 in the morning. I did what I had to do, finished and turned off the light. But it was very dark. I saw the silhouette of a man in an overcoat and a hat sitting on my couch. I was paralyzed but not very scared. Then he pointed his hand in my direction and called me with his index finger. At that moment, my vision started to get blurry and I don't remember much after that. I just remember losing my strength and falling down. The next day, I woke up with a small bruise on my thigh. These were bizarre events, and I don't know if they're connected to anything else. This isn't a fictional story, it really happened. I hope you enjoyed it. Hello Leo Augusto, my name is Daniel. This story happened when I was around 12 years old. My family and I went to my grandparents' house for the weekend. They lived in an isolated area in the forest. My grandfather was a very busy person. He was always fixing something or building something. I loved going there because I played a lot with my cousins. There were so many possibilities for playing in that place. It was really cool to go there. As soon as I got there, I went to play with my cousins, right? Who also came to visit my grandparents. We went to the swing that my grandfather built. Man, what a swing that was. He made us swing on a gigantic tree, man. We could go really high with that thing. Push it, dude. Go on. Damn, this is really high. Because I arrived in the afternoon, it got dark quickly, and our parents called us to come inside. The adults were getting the room ready where the kids were going to sleep. I remembered that I had left one of my toys near the swing tree. So after taking a shower, I went over there to get it, right? It was really dark out there, right? And I couldn't see very well. The only light was from the moon. After a few minutes looking around, I found my toy. It was at the base of the tree, just where I left it. But when I picked it up, I saw a swing moving by itself. It's just the wind, right? That's what's making it swing. As I walked away from the tree, shh. And then I heard a deep voice coming from behind the tree. Bless you. I froze instantly and looked back. But since it was very dark, I couldn't see anything. Suddenly, I heard footsteps. Terrified, I ran and went inside the house. When I got there, I told my brother what had happened. Hey bro, I have to tell you something, man. I was almost caught by a monster near the swing. What monster, man?
What did it look like?
I didn't see anything. It was too dark. I sneezed and it said, bless you. What kind of monster would say bless you to someone it wants to catch? Stop messing around. Let's go to sleep. After waking up the next day, I saw my uncles confused near my younger cousin. They asked him why he slept only on one side of the double bed. So, he answered that he was leaving space for someone. My uncles, not understanding, asked, who? My friend who lives in the forest. He always comes here and sleeps next to me. My uncles thought it was just a joke made up by my little cousin and didn't take what the child said seriously. But I knew who he was talking about. A few years later, my grandfather passed away and the house was sold.
We never went back to that place. Hi Leo Augusto, my name is Renata and I've been subscribed to your channel for a long time.
I'm 11 years old and something bizarre happened to me the other day. Well, on my street there's a house where they hold religious services.
Actually, my friends and I weren't sure.
The group figured this out because the people in that house acted strangely, like watching anyone who walked by, looking at people's houses in a weird way, and at night you could hear strange noises coming from there.
Even when there was no one in that house, you could still hear noises.
One day, my little group and I were playing in the street until we got tired and sat down on a neighbor's steps. After a few hours talking, my friend Gustavo came up with the idea for us to play a challenge game. This game goes like this. You play in pairs. You put a bottle on the ground and spin it. If it points at you or your partner, you have to do the challenge suggested by the other team. Well, right away, the bottle pointed at me. My partner was Stephanie. Let's think of something for them to do. I know, you have to go into the creepy house. I was about to refuse when my irrational friend Stephanie said, let's go, girl. We used Gabriel's house to get into the creepy house since he lived next door. There's an opening that leads to the roof of the place and from there there's a gap you can use to get inside. Alright, we went scared out of our minds to Gabriel's house. We waited for the owners to leave and then we went in. In the end, everyone went together. It was pitch dark, the floor was damp and every now and then we heard footsteps.
We decided to split up. Each of us went into a different room.
In the room I entered, I saw a lot of scribbles on the wall and white feathers on the floor. When I went to pick one up, I heard Isabella scream and everyone went to see what had happened. What we witnessed, we will never forget. We saw a pale man, apparently naked, and it looked like the skin around his mouth had been in some kind of accident. Because it was all weird, deformed, like a piece was missing. And for some reason, he was on top of a duck that was almost my size. We ran like there was no tomorrow looking for a way out of that bizarre dump. the front door was locked and that creature was still chasing us, Gabriel had the idea to grab his brick Nokia and throw it at the window, and that's when he did it, right?
And glass shattered everywhere, but we managed to escape in time.
Isabella was behaving oddly, trembling with a vacant expression. She stayed like that for many days until I heard that one day Isabella moved away from the street without even saying goodbye.
We still hear strange noises coming from that house even when people leave it.
Good afternoon, Leo Augusto. I'm from Portugal and I wanted to tell a story that happened recently. My house is next to an abandoned one, and man, that house is really big. It has 3 floors and it's really scary. One day I was walking by it, just chilling, until I saw a shadow passing by the window. I quickly called my friends who live nearby and we went to take a look inside, You know how it is, curiosity hits, we have to check it out, can't just let it go. Man, the house looked like an abandoned hotel with old furniture covered in dust. Then man, we heard a noise upstairs. And we went to take a look, right? We saw a shadow of something not human coming in our direction. And my legs started to shake. I tried to jump from the first step to the last one, man. But it didn't work out very well, did it? I slipped and fell, hitting my chin as I crashed onto the floor. My friends ran off, leaving me behind. I tried to follow them, but I was all hurt. Until I saw a place where there was no way out. I was lost and disoriented. I thought I was gonna die, man, until my friend shouted a lot for me and went there to get me. Since that day, I never wanted to go into that house again. Now every time I walk by that house, I feel bad. Hi, Leo Augusto. I'm Leonor, 12 years old. I try to avoid looking, worried I might see that thing again. I want to tell a story that happened when I was 9. One day I went to a party for 3 friends from school. The party was in an outdoor space, which was really big. There was a restaurant in the back, and on my left side there was a place that looked like some kind of cave. The party was going to last all day, and I admit it was one of the best parties I've ever been to. However, when night fell, the lights came on everywhere except in that cave. I was sitting on a chair at the restaurant talking with my friend when suddenly she got up without saying anything and walked toward that cave. Many people started heading over there. I was confused, but after a few minutes, I went too. I entered the cave and saw that it was a place with some tools and a coffee table. I got a little scared. It was a weird place with little light. But when I was about to leave, my friend was standing there staring at me. I asked, "Hey girl, you scared me. What's going on?" She didn't answer and started walking toward me like a zombie, And then when I looked around, everyone did the same. They came toward me. I thought it was a joke, right? And I said, "Are you seriously trying to scare me with this?" I tried to leave, but I was surrounded by them. There was only one way out. I had to slide under someone's legs and I got all dirty with soil. I dashed madly and locked myself in the bathroom. I waited 5 minutes and ran toward the restaurant. I saw my friend sitting in the chair as if nothing had happened. I went up to her slowly, afraid she might attack me, and I asked, "What happened?" "Explain it now." She said she didn't know what I meant. She must be joking, right? I rubbed myself in the dirt. I showed the dirt stains on my clothes, and I didn't have any dirt stains anymore. I went to the cave and everything was tidy, as if nothing had happened. I don't know what happened that day. I only remember when I left the party, I turned around and my friend was pale, looking at me and laughing. I just left there and never went back to that place. Hey, Leo Augusto, how's it going? My name is Alan. I'm 17 years old. I'm going to tell a story that happened a few years ago with my family and me. It went something like this. My mom always liked to get the family together on special occasions. She bought a small farm just to take the family there, and we would have a big party, But before my mom bought that small farm, some people who lived around there told her a few things. "Are you considering buying this property? This place is really peaceful and I liked it." "Don't fool yourself, ma'am. When night falls here, scary things happen." "What?" "Like ghosts. Nobody knows what it is. I just know that things only happen here at night. If I were you, I'd go back to where you came from because things here are crazy." "Don't say I didn't warn you, okay?" The place was in the middle of nowhere, with nothing but weeds on both sides. But my mom was always very skeptical and didn't believe it. One carnival, as usual, she took the family to the farm. She invited all my uncles, about 6 of them, and cousins to sleep over. It was a lot of people, right? The day was really fun. I spent the day eating barbecue and swimming in the pool with my cousins. When night came, we all heard a boy screaming, calling for my mom, Fulana.
Fulana.
We were all scared and afraid. My dad wanted to act brave, you know? He said he was going to check what it was, and one of my uncles went with him too. But they took a long time to come back, man, and while they were gone, we stayed in the house listening to those weird noises. And out of nowhere, we heard footsteps on the roof, knocks on the door, and really loud noises in the kitchen. We were all extremely scared, waiting for my dad and my uncle to come back. After a long time, they said they didn't find anything outside. They just kept hearing strange noises in the woods.
No one slept that night, and at dawn we left that house.
My family never talked about it again, and my mom ended up selling that place. Thank you for reading my story, Leo Augusto.